Okay, so we'll again try to repeat the things that we have. We'll try to again. Now the most of the things will be repeated. Everyone, the thing that we did yesterday will be remain as it is, but the most of the things will get repeated, and later on I'll teach you how to again make those things more redundant free. But now let us try to repeat the thing that we have done yesterday. So let me start my project. Let me share my screen. So please make sure that if you can clearly hear my voice, then write yes. If you can't hear my voice, write no. Okay, Vishal can hear my voice, and rest of you, can you please confirm me quickly that whether you can hear my voice clearly or not? Yes, so I can see so many. Yes, actually, I'm connecting on two systems. That's why I was confused whether you can hear me or not. Okay, thank you for your confirmation, everyone. So let's get started with the project which we have done yesterday. So first of all, let me review what we have done yesterday, and then we'll continue further. And then we shall continue further. So let's say yesterday we just did something. So let us. So yesterday we just did something like this. For example, yesterday we had I was in a user form. I was in a user form, and yesterday we created a folder, and we named it to data access layer. And under data access layer, we created two classes: connection class and the user class. And before this, we had a app.config file where we stored our SQL connection file, and this SQL connection file we stored it here because rather in our maybe in the future we might want to change this file. For example, your data source which is now equal to local may be changed. Okay, so computer may be different. For example, during the installation part, during the deployment, this computer name may change, or let's say this may be stored onto the server. So you might want to change this computer name. So I have stored it to the to a app.config file. So if it has to be located onto the multiple PC, so I do not have to go and change each and every PC. Or let's say if 100 form is using this data source, then if it is called in all those 100 forms, then you'll have to change in all those 100 forms. So rather than changing in all the 100 forms, what we did, we just store that in the app.config file. But storing that data into the app.config file will not allow you to connect to the database. So for that, we created a data access layer class, and data access layer folder. Under that, we created a connection class, and under connection class, we also added a namespace called system.configuration. Actually, we need to call the reference file for this configuration file. So we added a reference file by right clicking onto the references, and under references we search for the system.configurations. For example, we search for system.configurations. So this was the namespace that is required to uh, uh, get the value from the app.config file. And once we call the namespace here, we created a class called connection class. Under class, we created a static variable called connection string, and this connection string is supposed to return the DB connection, which is stored inside our app.config file. Now, if you have to access to the connection string, what you will do is simply do connection class with connection string, and you will be able to access the connection string. Now, if there has to be a change to be made in the connection string, we'll directly go to the app.config file and we'll change it over here, or we'll allow the user to change it from the front end later on. So now let's go to, we have almost completed this part, but still as I told you, we are left with some validation portion, and we also left with what will happen if you click on this delete button. We just want to make some confirmation that user really wants to delete the value. So let us quickly do that work, and then let's get again further with your next let's say I just want to go and manage the features section. So let us get started. Let's say before I start create, so in this case I just need to make sure that the password and the confirmed password should match. So instead of this one, what I can do, I can create a single function for this whole operation. So I can use a refactor for this. So refactor means method through which you can create a function for the thing that you have written here. So I'm selecting this all. I'll select right click here and I'll simply use the refactor and I'll just use the extract method. So what this will do, this will create a method for this whole operation. So let me just create a refactor and let me create extract method and let me name it to add user, create user. So once I do that, so instead of that big lump sum code, this will create a function for you and this function can be called anywhere you want. So this becomes this much small and function is created for this whole operation. Now I want to validate. The first thing that I want to validate is the password and the confirm password must match. So let us say if txt password dot text is not equal to txt confirm password dot text, then I shall display the error message. I shall display the error message. Otherwise, I'll simply call this create user. Okay. So what error message? Yes. Yeah. Do you have a question, anyone? So please let me know. Okay, Nikita is. Yeah. Oh, so many still coming. Okay, so let us. Okay. Rest of you का खाजा खान गएको थियो तिमीहरू? Okay, so I think okay. Let's get started again. Oh. Okay, so let us get started now again. So again, what we have done is just refactor and we are checking the password and confirm password. And if there is a no match, then I can say message box dot show, and I can say passwords do not match. Do not match. And here I can make it more attractive just by writing passwords do not match, and I can just tell message box buttons dot okay and message box icon dot error. So this will display a message box in a very good format. So now once we do that, now your user won't be created until unless the password don't match. And if this does not match, then I'll just say txt password dot text equals to txt confirm password equals to null, and txt password dot focus. So your cursor will be focused on this txt password. So let's see and check how it works, everyone. Meantime, let's say if anybody is coming. Okay, nobody is here. So let us go and click admin and admin. Okay, let me choose any user. Let us create any user. That's a Ram, Ramesh. And let's try to create, and it will show you. Just a second, everyone. Someone is coming to. And now you can see there is a password do not match onto the header. This is the error sign, and this is the message, and this is the buttons. Okay, so this is message box dot buttons, message box dot icon. This is the password do not match at the header text. Okay, so this is a way you can type in the message box. So I can click close, and you can see once I'm closing it out, then these both are deleted, and the password is and your password text bar is unfocused. So I can now just say Ram and Ram. So let's try to create, and that's done. And also you can change the length of this password. For example, we can check the length of this password should be more than 6. So also you can validate everything that you want. You can just Google how to make a validations and you can just do the validations. So let's go a few more validations everyone. So let's also you can check for the regular expressions that the password must start with a capital letter or something like that. Whatever you want you can carry out everyone. And here instead of doing this I can also check else if txt password dot length. Okay, so let me just where I was. I can also check txt. Let's say text length is less than 6. Then I can say the length of the password must be greater than 6, and we can also just write anything. So let us try this one. So let's say admin users. Let's choose anyone. Ram. Okay, let's make a Rami. Great. And you can see the length of the password must be greater than 6. Let's say Rami sub. And now it's created. Absolutely fine, not wrong. So we are able to create a user with a password greater than 6. So these are some small validations that you can apply, everyone. And the other validation that I want to apply is, let's say, no empty user should be created. Let's say username should be there, password should be there, role should be selected, and everything should be there. So I also can check else if txt username.text is not equal, if equals to null, then I can display the message like message box.show. I can just tell him please provide the username. Else if I can check txt password.text equals equals to null, then I can tell I can tell him okay, please provide the let's say please provide the password and again also you can also change, let's say else if txt confirm password.text double equals to null. I can still check okay, this has to be a provided field. For example, I can say message box dot show confirmation password cannot be null, cannot be empty. Let's say there are many options that you can follow, and I can check for the role else if cmb role dot, in this case you have selected index equals to -1, that means nothing is selected out here. In that case you can just tell message box dot show please select a role. So this is some validation that you can apply everywhere, even for the update, even for the delete and everything. So let's run and check this out. And let's choose anyone. Let's Ram. Let us select anyone. Let us type it create. And this is okay. The one. Okay, let's say Ram. Select. Okay, so it should be Ramesh one create. So it has to ask me for the username. Let's say the username is Vshake, and let us say okay. Actually, it's selected for now, but let me delete this password. Passwords do not match. I just put it blank. Obviously, this will show me the message. Passwords do not match, and so on. Anybody joining it? And then let me just do it again. Let's say we should. Let me create, and you can just see please select a role because role is not selected. So in that case, you need to select role. And that's done. And this is what validations we want to apply everywhere. So you apply even more complex validations, but for project we can now make it simple for now. We can make it more complex validations. But for this now, let me try to create another user. And you can see you just got we are getting an error message like a violation of unique key constraint. And this type of error, they are not actually meaningful, right? So this types of error actually this does not make sense. So what I will do in this case is, let's say if there is any duplicate users, so I will try to display some more better error message. So what I can do in this case is, so you'll be checking if there are user exist. So let me create a function for which I'll be checking a duplicate user. So let me create a function for that. So let me just go over here and just public bool duplicate user, and I can just tell, just put a try catch exception ex, and this is boxes ex message. And here I can just tell if for integer I equals to 0, I is less than dgv dot rows dot count I plus plus, and I can create a value bool duplicate equals to false. Okay, d equals to false, and then I can check now if txt username dot text is equals to dgv dot rows I to cells username if a username matches to any of the value, there is an error. Let me tell you everyone. Okay, actually this will double equals to. Okay, if a username matches to any of them in the data grid view, then what I will do in this case is I will just tell d equals to true. Otherwise, I'll tell d equals to false. And that if d equals to 3 means that duplicate user exists. If d equals to 4 means duplicate user does not exist. So just going to out of this catch, I'll just return d. That means this function will return duplicate. If this is true, that means there is a duplicate user that exists. If this function returns false, that means duplicate user doesn't exist. Now I can check here. I can write a logic here. Else if duplicate user double equals to false or double equals to true, I can just tell user with this name already exists, and I will just delete the username. So again, these are some basic validations that we want to avoid a duplicate users. Let us run and check. Let us try to create any user. Let's say I just want to create a Ramesh. Let's try to create. And okay, so actually this is coming from a try catch statement. So this we are getting from a database error. Actually, this was to be shown, but it just displayed you other value. Let's put everything into the try catch statement. Okay, I'm not able to remove this error for now, so I'll just come back to this all later on. I'll just try to make sure that we avoid this. This is basically coming from this one. So I'll just try to see how we can avoid this lateral. For now, let us keep it as it is, and I'll get back to you again for this lateral. For now, these are the validations that you can apply in your form, in any of the form. Not necessarily you have to apply for everyone, but try to make some validations, and that will help you to create a better application. So if you have any question till now, please raise your question in the chat box, everyone. Okay, so magnifying a little bit. Okay, I'll magnify it. If you have any question out here, anyone, so you can have your questions raised into the chat box. So if you have no question, then I think that I have to proceed further. So actually, these are just for the user form that we did, and now let us proceed further for your employee form, let's say teacher's form. So if you look into your system, for example, if you look into a system, then you have something for you have again teachers. You also need the table for these teachers. I have already told you have to create a table for these teachers. So it has name, address, contact, email, gender, highest qualification, and date of birth. So we require to create a table for teachers here. So let's try and do that work now. So let's open our SQL server. Let me connect. So let's go to the database that we created. I have created this database, maybe some assignment DB database. And here I need to create a table for teachers. So let me create a teachers table. So I'll just create table, teacher table with the fields like teacher ID integer, and let me see what I have here. the teacher's form. Name, address, contact, email. So let me just have name, address, contact, email. Let me have all those fields first, then I'll define a data type. Gender, highest qualification, and date of birth. Okay, so let us define a data type for this. This is varchar 100, contact varchar 20, email varchar say 200, varchar 10, 100, and date of birth is a date type. So let us have a comma everywhere. We need a comma here, we need a comma here, comma here, comma here, comma here. So we created a table, teacher table. Let me execute this. Okay, so there is already an object table, teachers in the database. Let me see. Yeah, I have already a teacher table here. I already have a teacher table. Let me see what fields I have. Teacher ID, name, address, contact, email, gender. Okay, I already have created table, so no need to create this now. So let me just delete this. And now let me again go and create a stored procedure for this table. So I don't know if I have created a stored procedure for my table, teacher table. So I have a creative. Actually, I don't need this. So let me delete this. I don't need this. Let me delete this. Oh, I have already created a stored procedure for teachers as well. So that's perfect. I think I've already created a stored procedure for teachers as well. So I don't hope I need to create a stored procedure for teacher here again. So I can directly link it to my form now. Now whatever the thing that we did yesterday, we'll be repeating this all stuffs here. So how? So let's see. So we'll just go to the Solution Explorer. On a data access, I will just right click, we'll create add. I will create a class. And let us name this as a teacher class. And quickly I'll just make everything ready. So let me go to Server Explorer. And let me just go to my database. Clean this so that I can remember it. Let me have the two namespaces here. Using system.data and using system.data.sql point. So exactly whatever you did yesterday, and you need to call a namespace connection string here. That's it. And then we'll now just go public bool manage teachers and provide all of it. So it provided all the fields. Do not forget to have a try catch exception ex. So yesterday I told you how to manage this error throw. So again I'm going to make it more easier. So I'm just going to using system.windows.forms, and instead of throw I'll be displaying the error inside. I'll be displaying inside a message box, so that this will be shown in a dialog box. Finally the connection has to be closed. Okay, so I'm having an issue here. Let me just fix it. So now here I'll just go and execute my SQL query. I have to do nothing, just to execute my stored procedure. Everything is ready. So my stored procedure name is sp underscore manage teachers. As you can see, we have a teachers with sp underscore manage teachers, comma con, and I need to specify all the parameters. Before that, you have to specify the command type, and this is very mandatory for now. And this is a stored procedure, so you have to specify stored procedure, and we need to avoid the parameters at this value at the rate teacher ID. You can see this is a small ID here, so you have to provide exactly in the same fashion teacher ID. Just let me provide all the fields. Address, after you need to have contact. After contact, you have email. So email is done. Gender, so let's provide gender. And then you have highest qualification. So that's done. Date of birth. That's date of birth. And finally mode. So mode, and let me count how many fields I have. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, that's done. Let me open the connection. Let me close the connection, and let me create a variable. So variable has to be created here before the try. Bool rs equals to false, for example, and if result is greater than 0, then I will just tell rs equals to true, else rs equals to false, and I can return this rs. So there is an error here. Let me fix the error. Okay, actually this was not supposed to be here, this is supposed to be here. So now after finally I will just try to return this rs. That's done. And also let me have a next function through which I can retrieve all the teachers. So let me create a new function. Get all teachers. Later on I'll teach you how to search, how to create a searchable, how to write a function to make a search operation. Try caps exception ex. We can add message box now. Finally, connection has to be closed. Do not forget this. Let's create a data table instance here. Just a second, somebody is coming. Okay. So let's again go here and return et. And here I can have now SQL command. Select star from teacher table. We'll have to pass a connection string. Con.open. Execute this query. Execute reader. And close the connection, and we are done with reading all those teachers details. There might be error, but let's try to fix it up during the runtime. So let us go to the teachers form here, and now let me see if I have named all the controls or not. Let me go to the property window and let me check. Okay, already named txt name dob. Okay, everything is named here. So let me just click on the add button here, and let me call the object of dot teacher class tc equals to new. Okay. So once you have done this, let's put a try catch statement here, ex. And here, now let us try to have all those fields here. So bool rs equals to tc.get, sorry, manage teachers, and you provide all the fields. So 0 for teacher ID, txt teacher, txt name.text, txt address.text, txt contact.text, txt email.text, and here for gender I need to read for gender. So I'll just show you how to get a gender. Txt. Oh, I think there is a problem with highest qualification. Let me see what is it. Okay, that's a CMB. Okay, so I think that's a CMB. So CMB highest qualification dot text, and then date of birth. So date of birth needs to be converted to datetime. So datetime dot parse txt dob. So I think that is gtp dob dot text. And what else? Mode is 1. Now I also need to read this gender. So let us. Okay, there is still a error. Let me see what is it. Okay, so there is some error here. Let me see what is the error. So ID, name, address, contact. Oh, I'm email, gender, highest qualification, date of birth, and then what else it is. Okay, so problem is with this one, date of birth. So let me try to fix this issue. So instead of this string, let me make it date time. So I hope my problem should be gone now. And let me go to teacher form. Oh, it's gone. Now I have to manage the gender. So for my gender, let me create a variable, string gender equals to null for now. And let me pass this variable here. But I don't know what is the value of gender. So let us manipulate the value of gender by clicking on this. So this is RDB male. So let me click on this. So gender should be equal to RDB male. So gender in this case should be now equal to Okay, that's a BTM. Sorry, BTM male.text. Let me again go to designer. Again, let me click on this. So gender equals to BTM female.text. Again, let me go to the other part. BTM other.text. So it provided gender, and we are almost done with your operations. So you can have a very good look here. Okay. So now let's check. If R is equals to true, then maybe the teachers have been added. So I can just message post up so. Teachers information successfully added, and we need to retrieve all the teachers details. So let's say dgv teachers detail data source should be equals to tc dot get all teachers. Otherwise, you will display the error message. Required operation. So let's see what we have done here. Let's run and check. Before that, let me just change the grid view property. So it's there, it's there. There has to be auto size column mode to fill. So auto size column mode is none. Let me make it fill. And selection mode to full row select. This is full row select. Let's run it now and let's see. Let's provide admin. So let's go to teacher section. Let's put any teacher. Let's say Vinod Janapur. Let's have 982190498. Email. Gender male. Qualification. Let's say masters. 1986. Add. Oh, so it's added. See, it's beautifully added here. Now all the values are populated here. Now I just want this value to be loaded on a form load. Let's see how you can do that. It's very easy. We'll again go to the view code section and then we'll go to the initialize component. Below the initialize component, we'll just do dgb user details data source will be equal to tc.get all teachers. So this will get all the teachers. And one thing that I want to have it to be, let me make it somewhat bigger. Undock this so that I can have this very. I can dock this now. Let me bring it to the corner. Let me have this here a bit. Let me just make it somewhat bigger. Get it down to this one. Let me make this somewhat bigger. So this looks better now. Let's run and check how it looks now, everyone. Okay, so let's go to teachers here, and you can see teachers are beautifully displayed here. Now I just want to make an update and delete operation. So let's say another teacher Ramu. added, and you can display it here very properly. Now let's go for update and delete operation as well. But that's a tricky here for update and delete. That's a tricky part because you need to also just click on this male, female, and the other. So let me go to the view code first, and let me again go to the event for this. You already have the idea what event we want to have, self event, and we need to retrieve the ID. So let me retrieve the ID here. Let me just go here and just have integer user ID equals to 0. Sorry, teacher ID. This is 0. Let's set the word. Now let's get that. When I put a try cat, I always feel better to have the thing for the try cat statement, so we do not run our program may not crash if you put everything in the try catch. That's right. Now again, let's put teacher ID. Sorry, teacher ID equals to integer.pass. So एकछिन है म एकछिन कल गरेछु सर म एकछिन कल गर्छु. So let's integer.parse, and that's dgv teacher detail dot selected rows, that's 0th, and dot cells teacher ID dot value dot to string, and we are done retrieving the teacher ID. Let me copy this much. So again, let's get it for now. Teacher name, txt name dot text is equal to, now let me paste it here, but that has to be a teacher name. Let me see what else I have, and then I can. Let me copy this field for now. And let me just put teacher name txt address. That has to be address. Contact. So this is contact. Email. No. So gender is a problem here, everyone. We do not know what is gender, so we have a simple gender variable, and that's gender. And then you have highest qualification, that is CMB. Date of birth. And I think that's a date of birth as well. So let me see what is inside the table. I think it's a date of birth. So let me run and check how it looks. Let me select anyone. We can see everything is populated, but this male, female, and other, they are not populated. Okay, so let's see how you can even check this out. So again, let me go to the I need to write some logic here. Just kind of if gender equals to male, then I can just say btn male dot selected btn checked equals to true, else if gender equals to female, then btn female dot checked equals to true, else if gender double equals to other, than btn other dot checked equals to true. We are done with writing our query. Let's run and check. Add features, select any one, and male is selected. Let's select any new one. Let's say Sarita Bhandari. Let's say this is female. Qualification, let's say masters 1980. Add. Okay. So let's select this one. So male is selected. Male selected, but for this one, female is selected, and this is working perfectly, everyone. So once this is done, so now let's go and write the query for update and delete. So for update and delete, it's very simple. It's super simple now. We'll simply copy this all. Sorry. We'll copy this add wala query, and we'll only change the ID and the mode. Everything will remain the same. Let me go to designer. Let me click here. Let me paste it out here, and let me just choose a teacher ID here. And mode has to be 2. Okay, so this does not exist in the current context. Okay, so that's a teacher ID. And update it. That's it. Let me copy this all, and this will be repeated for the delete as well. Just have to change the mode to 3, and that's it. Delete it. Let's have this work, and let's run and check whether this works or not. Let's go to teacher section. Let's go to Sarita. Let's delete this. Delete it. Let's go to Ramu sir. Let's say Ramu @ismt.edu.np, and let's say we have 1985. Let's say. Let's click update, and I think that must be updated. So we should click here. Okay, it's not showing in a very. So I'll just try. We have to change this format here, and this will be okay. No issues at all. So we have been able to do that work. So I think let me the email is updated here. So email got updated. So we are able to update and update. We are also able to delete the word. Also, you can clear the field. Once we are done with this all work, we can clear the field. For example, let's create a function. And let's say txt name.clear, txt address.clear, contact.clear, email.clear, we have a okay RDB btn mail dot check equals to false, btn email dot check equals to false, btn other dot check to false, selected index equals to -1, and d2b.text equals to okay, we can call it null. I got a small phone, everyone. I'll get back to you. Hello. Hazir. कुनै प्रब्लम आइरहेछ सर So sorry for the interruption, everyone. I had a small call. So now let's again get started. I don't know where I was. Okay, so I was on the clear form. So txt db. Actually, this may be I think nothing, or maybe I think null. Okay, null. So this is going to reset. Okay, so I think I'm done with this all. So let us call this function on the every success operation. For example, once you're able to create, let me call the function clear here. Later on, I'll teach you how to create a general function to do this all operation. Let me call the clear function here. Let me call the clear function here. Let's run and check, and this is the last part for today, everyone. Let's go to teachers. Let's select anyone. Let's make an update. Let's say update operation done, and the fields are blank now, and that's it. And this is also reset to the today's date. Okay, this is reset to the today. Let me fix this date time issue here. I think date time issue we're having an error here. Let me just go to designer. Let me go to this one. Let us go to property. Let us go to format. It's short. I think that's okay. Short is okay. Anyway, let's leave it as it is now. So we are done with today's work, everyone. So up to now, what we have done is also we have done the users, we have done with the teachers. Now still we are left with program, and program is very simple. You simply have a program name and a description, and then you have a semesters. That's very two field that you can easily do. Batch. Okay, for batch I will do it. I will do it for my side. For units, it's okay. For unit also you can do. Okay, for unit you don't need to do because there is something called program, and then there is something called semester. So you do not have to do for units, and you do not have to do for the students. I will do it for you. But what I expect from you is that you do it for program and semester. Okay, you do it for program. It has only two fields, and for semester there are two fields. So can you all please do for program and semester, everyone? Can you try? Can you? Yeah, okay. Suyas has a question. The data type of data box should be date in the database. Absolutely, Suyas. The database of the data box should be date time. And also, please, small buddy, you do not keep a name like this. Please have a meaningful name. Okay, write your appropriate name here. So everybody, so please give it a try for these 2 units and the semester, and then I'll catch you tomorrow again. And if you're able to do it's okay. Otherwise, I'll do it for you tomorrow again. Okay, so try it, everyone. And so for today, you can take a break now. You can take a leave now for today, and I'll catch you tomorrow again. So if you have a question, you can raise your question in the chat box. Otherwise, you can keep on living. Yeah, Binayak, what is the question? Can you please let me? Okay, login. Don't worry about login. Login, I'll come back again. We won't be using that login code. Okay, Binayak, do not worry about that login. So your email has a problem. So don't worry, it will get reset and it will be sent it to you. We have changed the password, so it will be sent to you. Vishal, I have added to the second semester, so there will be other classes. Okay, other classes will be in the Microsoft team. You can start attending the class. Yes, Milan, you can type in the chat box. So small buddy, can we conduct our class literally? Okay, so next time we can try. So actually I won't be having a class for quite long. So once I finish the project, once I finish the assignment discussion part, my project will be done. Milan, you can type whatever you want to say in the chat box. So I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. I'll upload the video and then I'll give you a link